justice and peace and equality. Now the world they will see.
Let's do it. Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, and we're back with an exclusive episode with gubernatorial candidate for governor of Georgia, Mr. Derrick Jackson. How you doing today,
man? Listen, I'm so happy to be here with the Game Changers.
Yes, sir. Yes,
listen,
sir.
If you ain't changing the game, you ain't in the game.
You ain't in the game, man.
Right?
You ain't in the game. That's right, man. That's right, man. Gubernatorial election coming up in Georgia. Right.
Next year.
Next year. You guys are revving up. Is what, 5 or 6 Democratic candidates?
Right now it is, and they're talking about another 2 or 3 talking about getting in this race. So we can find ourselves maybe 8 or 9 running for governor from the Democratic side, and maybe 2 or 3 from the Republican side for a total of, what's that, about 12 or 13 people.
Wow. What's the state of the Democratic Party going for?
Listen, that's a great question. I think we as Democrats have to make up in our mind, do we want to fight or we want to take the status quo?
Right.
See, because I'm a fighter.
Okay.
Right? Status quo has yielded us nothing.
Zero.
Okay?
Zero.
We keep talking this whole status quo. We talking all these platitudes, boots on the ground. All that stuff sounds nice, right? But it ain't helping my young people, my young black men, my young black women, right? It ain't helping them find a job. It ain't increasing our minimum wage from $5.15. So I'm a fighter.
Yes.
Right? I'm a fighter born that way. And then I was cultivated that way when I went into the military.
Okay.
Right? 22 years in the military, retired military officer, lieutenant commander.
Right.
Then I went to corporate America, did that for 10 years. And now I'm on my 5th term, which is 10 years under the Gold Dome. So 42 years of leadership.
Serving
42 years of experience, 42 years of service.
Correct.
I know how to fight.
Hey, man. And fight is what you do. I've seen you down this past week in Camden County, coastal Georgia is what they call it, southeast Georgia.
That's it.
That area is a different area from Atlanta. Like, it's a different dynamic. It's a different set of culture. What was your experience in coastal Georgia working alongside those coastal Georgia Democrats and how they mobilize in the community and ignite the vote?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, number one, I'm not new to rural Georgia. All right, I just want to make sure that's clear, get that on tape. I'm not new to rural Georgia. Here's the reason why. Because in the early 1800s, my great-great-grandfather was sold in Charleston, South Carolina, and he was brought over to Georgia.
Wow.
In the early 1800s. Okay? And he was on a plantation in a place called Waynesboro, Georgia.
Wow.
For those who don't know where Waynesboro, Georgia is, Burke County.
Yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
And so then my mother's father, my grandfather, was also born right on the cusp of slavery.
Okay.
But really a sharecropper.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so his father was obviously a slave, and then it manifested once we were free, 1863.
Okay.
And became a sharecropper, and then my grandfather was a sharecropper and a farmer. In Waynesboro, Georgia. So rural Georgia is not new to me.
So you're definitely not new to rural Georgia.
Not new, that's right. And then number 2, when I went down to Camden County, it was just electric to me. Here's the reason why it was electric.
Okay.
Because they keep asking us who are in the Atlanta metro area to show up.
Yes.
And so I was fully embraced. When I showed up, they're like, you here? I'm like, yes. Where else would I be? Right. Because my people are in rural Georgia. My people are in urban Georgia. My people are in suburban Georgia.
Yes.
In order to meet my people, see my people, I got to show up.
Definitely.
So number 2, I will show up. And then number 3, to the essence of your question is this. Rural Georgia, those who live in rural Georgia, their needs are different.
Definitely.
Okay? They're looking for making sure that they get the resources to cultivate rural Georgia. Our black farmers, for example.
Correct.
Right? They need support and resources. They're not asking for a handout. They just want to make sure they're not left behind.
Yes.
And my 22 years in the Navy demonstrated that we don't leave no one behind. That's what I was taught. And so it was great to be on the coastline.
Okay.
We're going back many times. I'm no stranger, like I said, to the rural parts of the coast and rural Georgia.
Now, with rural Georgia, and you being a native of rural Georgia, and we're talking about the difference in rural Georgia, like what's going on. 85% of Georgia is made up of small business entrepreneurship. The rest is made up of warehouses, other big businesses. Rural Georgia is different because entrepreneurship is not a high commodity in rural Georgia. Most you have working class people. What's your plan to mobilize rural Georgia and mobilize those people who are caught into the everyday life of the hustle? Those are our blue collar workers, the people who actually keep the state running.
Oh, absolutely. So when you think about, well, first off, I want everybody to go to voteDerrickJackson.org, voteDerrickJackson.org, and you'll see my entire plan.
Correct.
But to respond to your question is this.
Okay.
The reason why entrepreneurship is not as robust as it is right here in the Atlanta metropolitan area,
okay,
because the infrastructure is not there.
Wow.
Right?
Good.
Rural Georgia needs broadband.
Yes.
Rural Georgia needs internet.
Yes.
Right? To even to become an entrepreneur or whatever industry.
Okay.
Right? And you also need resources. The capital. You got places like in Albany, Georgia, right? Where my wife is from, Doherty.
Yes.
There's no Bank of America there.
Wow.
So even if you thought of getting capital from one of the major banks in the United States, you have to drive a good distance outside of Albany.
Like a major city.
Right.
Almost, yeah.
Right? You got to come up to Macon.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And so you have to look at the infrastructure what entrepreneurs need.
Okay.
Right? Think about post office.
Yes.
How much FedEx and UPS are there?
Yes.
Right? With your business, I know you have to use a lot of UPS and FedEx.
Absolutely.
Right?
Correct.
If you got enough, I probably pass about 10 or 15 of them coming here.
Come on.
Right?
Now. Yes.
But that's not the case in rural Georgia.
Yes.
Right? So you got to meet those entrepreneurs where they are. They may want to do something around agriculture. They may want to do something around textile.
Okay.
Those things that are already in place there because they can't leverage the other means because it's not built inside of rural Georgia. We have to have an infrastructure. And my plan, when I become governor, is to make sure that they have access to capital. They have an infrastructure they can leverage. So despite whatever you want to be, down in Camden, Byron, 122 counties out of 159 counties are considered rural Georgia. And so these 122 counties, we need to go there and see what they need, listen to them, and then activate the plan.
Absolutely. Now, as we know, rural Georgia also presents a school to prison pipeline type culture where a lot of our African American men who are working in the warehouse, who are back on their feet, recidivism citizens, they want to vote. How do we mobilize that group of people in rural Georgia to get them back on the voters ballot, eligible to vote? We just seen what happened where how many voters were eliminated from the ballots?
480,000.
Right. How do we get that group? Because we have to mobilize a group in order to cross this line in the election process.
Yeah, listen, that's an excellent question. I think I always tell folks, if legislation get us in this mess, we're going to need legislation to get us out of this mess.
Wow.
You got to start with the laws.
Okay.
Right? I believe in second chances. So heck, sometime you may need a third chance.
Right.
So we need legislation to open up a gateway for those who have served their time, right? Paid their price to society. But we have to have a gateway for them to even have a runway for them to even be fully considered as citizens.
Yes.
Right? That means your record should be expunged automatically.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Let's start there.
Yes.
And then we need to make sure that there's no way of reminding them of the past.
Okay.
And so let's look at opportunities where I may say there's a grant available, $50,000 that you hire someone.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That maybe develop some skills while they were in prison.
Okay.
Right? So you as a business owner, the state is saying, here's a $50,000 grant. You may hire one or two to help them get back on their feet.
Okay.
Help them get some skills, maybe in media or marketing or sales, wherever that case may be. So now is society, one, embracing that individual. Two, we're saying as the government, we believe in second chances,
Yes.
give you an opportunity to make some money legally, get some food on the table and a roof over your head.
Yes.
But we need to have legislation in place, and you need a governor that's going to, one, think of these ideas in the most creative way, and then two, work with our business community to make sure that that door and that runway is open for those who want to come out and do the right thing.
Absolutely, and I totally 100% agree with you. In our motto at Streets of Gentlemen, we have a slogan saying education builds opportunity, but we also know that resources breed development. And in resources breeding development, when it comes to economic development in Georgia, what's your plan to mobilize the agricultural system, the farmers, the ones who actually we get, the farm to table process? Because a lot of people, when they look at Georgia, they look at Atlanta. They don't think about Ocilla, Georgia. They don't think about Waycross, Georgia. They don't think about these counties that produce produce that service worldwide across a global economy.
When the 11 million citizens in Georgia that call Georgia home,
okay,
I would be a governor to remind them that we have 18 strong economies, 18
wow.
strong industries.
Okay.
But our number one industry that's going very strong?
What's that?
Agriculture.
Man, it's
$33 billion.
Wow.
So a lot of folks think it's the movie and television industry. We're doing well there too.
We're doing well,
right? Because we've grown that from 300 million to now 9.5 billion.
Correct.
In 14 years, right?
Correct.
All the Marvel movies, but that's not our number one industry.
Yes.
Agriculture is.
It definitely is.
Right? Out of 159 counties, 122 counties are what we consider rural.
Wow.
Right? And so we need to make sure that we do the right thing. Now, I will tell you that these tariffs conversation going back and forth is hurting our agriculture.
I could definitely see that.
Because this conversation around tariffs, and we can talk about that later during your interview, but when you think about the federal government, how it negatively impacted the state government needs to say, hold up, federal government.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So we have a governor right now that's being very, very quiet.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He knows what is happening in Washington, D.C. is hurting the economies here in Georgia.
Okay.
Right? Which is the reason why he had to freeze the budget.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Right? So he's being very quiet. If I was your governor right now, I would not be quiet.
Okay.
Trump would have a headache every day.
Well, let me.
What are you doing?
Let me ask you this. So what is your plan to help Georgia residents? Because we do understand that it's made up of agriculture in rural Georgia. What is the plan to breed relief for those rural Georgia counties and those counties that depend on agriculture, and that being one of the biggest investments and one of the biggest resources for Georgia economy? What is the plan to kind of work alongside with the Republicans and up and on a capital level, on a nation level, with you being state governor? What's the plan? Because we got to work across the gap as we see.
Yeah, we do have to have a plan first. Let's start there.
Yes.
We have no plan.
Okay.
Right? So when you have $16 billion surplus,
okay,
you have to have a plan how to execute that.
Okay.
Right? And then you also need to have a plan what happens when the federal government is negatively impacting your state.
Definitely.
Okay? And so you have some Democratic governors right now saying, listen, federal government, right, we don't need you.
Yes.
We have a surplus.
Okay.
We're sitting on money. But what we're not going to do is that you negatively impact, in our case, 11 million Georgians.
Wow.
Right? And so I am accustomed. People like to say, bruh, reach across the aisle.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But during my nearly 9+ years under that Go Dome, they're not interested in reaching across the aisle. I got to be honest with you.
Wow.
This year, Governor Kemp signed 378 bills.
Okay.
Of that 378 bills, how many were of them were Democratic bills? You want to take a guess?
Man, I was so 10.
5.
Wow.
So if somebody is saying they're willing to work across the aisle, give us at least 50 bills. Heck, 60 bills out of 378.
Come on now.
Not 5.
Not 5.
Right?
Right.
The 80 of us in the House, we represent 4.8 million Georgians.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
But you wouldn't see that.
Right.
And so a lot of folks saying, well, wait a minute, it's 80 of you all, because when I first got elected in 2016, there was only 62 Democrats.
Yes. Okay.
Now we've grown 18 more seats.
Okay.
Now it's 80 of us.
Okay.
Right? But you wouldn't see no impact.
Yes.
You wouldn't see no difference.
Yes.
Because the Republicans right now are not interested playing on both sides.
Well, let me ask
Okay.
you. Let me ask you this: Do you feel like the Republican Party, because the Republican Party under the Brian Kemp administration, they appointed a lot of elected officials on the Democratic side. Do you think that weaken or strengthen the Democratic Party from his appointment of elected officials? Because he seemed to be working across the aisle publicly. But it looks like behind. I mean, you tell me. Woo.
I would tell you this.
Okay.
Look at an individual's policy.
Wow.
And that would tell you if they are for you or they're trying to hurt you.
Yes, most definitely.
Right?
Right.
We have over 700,000 small businesses in Georgia.
Okay.
You know how many of them 700,000 small businesses we helped during COVID 5 years ago?
How many?
Try 0.
Wow.
As a state now.
As a state.
I'm not talking about the federal government doing PPP and all that. I'm talking about as a state.
Where did that money go?
Did you get any help?
Well, not statewide. Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Now, we helped major corporations during COVID.
Okay.
We gave Delta Airlines $40 million for jet fuel tax that they didn't even ask for.
Wow.
We helped major corporations, but we didn't help the 700,000 small businesses here in Georgia.
And Georgia is made up of 85% small business entrepreneurs.
Okay?
Wow.
Think about that for a second.
Okay.
So if your policy, so you can say one thing, but your policies are saying something different.
Yes.
Are they trying to help you or hurt you? Right? I'll use another example. Medicaid. Okay?
Okay.
Nearly 1 million Georgians with little to no health care.
Right.
In Georgia.
Okay.
Right? Has he expanded Medicaid?
From a federal and a state level, it seems like people are losing Medicaid.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got nearly $6 billion sitting on the table because he refused to sign his signature to expand Medicaid right here in Georgia.
Wow.
So he came up with a program. Now his program, he said, I'm going to bring about 150,000 Georgians and give them health care.
Okay.
Of that 150,000, how many of you think he actually really signed? That was his goal, the 150,000. How many think is on his plan? The Kemp medical plan.
I would say, man, I mean, you crushed him. I would say what?
I'll help you, bro.
Go ahead.
8,000.
Wow.
So your goal was 150,000, but you only netted 8,000.
Wow.
So and then let's talk about education.
Okay.
Right? Is he taking money from the public education, or he putting money into the public education?
Seems to be taken away. Classrooms are overpacked. I know exclusively here in Henry County, man, we have a student-to-teacher ratio that's just not meeting the standard. That's definitely behind the 8 ball when we address that.
Okay?
Yes.
I'm going to use another example. When Nathan Deal was the governor for 8 years, he started a criminal justice reform.
Okay.
Right? He got a lot of bipartisan support from us.
Okay.
Right? I'll be the first. I signed on some of that criminal justice reform.
Okay.
Kemp, when he got in office, he ripped all that stuff up.
Wow.
So I'm saying a lot of folks will say he's a good governor, but from the inside looking out, he's a horrible governor.
Wow.
I'm just going to look at your policies.
Okay.
I'm not attacking a person. You know, are they a good husband or a bad father? No, I'm not doing none of that. It's not personal for me.
Correct.
What are your policies and how do you vote?
Wow. And policies are definitely important. We hold that thought, State Rep Derrick Jackson, candidate for governor, gubernatorial candidate. We're going to have to go to a commercial break. You guys stay tuned. We're on Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts in conversation. You guys stay tuned.
And equality. Now the world they will see. That's why.